Please state your name and address in 3 minutes.
Good morning, Renita Bonadies from Homer Township. I submitted a FOIA request on October 11th for all FOIAs received by the county from August 3rd through October 10th. The reason for this was that I've heard John Keefer reference 18 FOIAs he received that requested the same data on the same day after the primaries. I have also heard Mr. Smith reference the fringe group of conspiracy people that have put in FOIA requests and that he has been inundated with FOIA requests. So I was expecting to see dozens of FOIA requests for this election data. Well, I did get the results of 108 pages yesterday. Of the data, which I did compile, I received, there were 14 duplicate records, 12 records that were not in the date ranges I submitted, 20 sheriff record requests, 42 police record requests, 2 autopsy requests, and 1 election data request, not counting mine, which wasn't in the date range. I found all of this quite concerning. Other than paying to have reports printed and then receiving a bunch of duplicates and out-of-date range reports, where are all the reports that this group of commissioners have been hearing about at these meetings over the past 2 months? Where's the FOIA request that this group of commissioners voted to deny? How did you vote to deny a request that does not show up in my FOIA request? I bring all this to your attention because you sit here meeting after meeting, hearing reports and comments by the clerk, county attorney, and chief deputy clerk, and accept everything they tell you as the truth. Where is the flood of FOIA requests you hear about and that they want you to believe they are receiving? I have found over the past 18 months that many have gotten to the point of just believing everything they're told without really questioning it. Whether we're here or at Midland Public School Board meetings, this needs to change if people are to be held accountable. I fail to see the evidence to back their public reports to you and those of us in the community. I would ask you to do some due diligence and ask for the evidence to back their comments, as they did not give it to me when I lawfully requested it. So now you understand why I did this FOIA request. I wanted to see the evidence. Just because someone is a lawyer does not mean that they know everything or that they're doing the right thing. I did not get what I expected, was led to believe I was paying for, and is certainly not complete. I have over a half dozen FOIA requests from others, and one of my own that did not appear in this FOIA request. Is it incompetence, poor record keeping, negligence, or intentional? That is what you need to determine of the taxpayer money being spent for this legal representation for the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment today?
My name's Loretta Mullet. I'm from Lee Township. On Tuesday, October the 11th, 2022 at 1:30, I attended the systems certification process of the Dominion Systems certification process with the Dominion ballot machines in Lee Township. This was for the upcoming election. There were 8 total who came to witness this process, which ended up lasting 4 hours because so many persons in my township had questions. As I was leaving, I stopped to ask our township clerk, Laura Dotson, if she could print a CVR for me, which is the cast vote record. John Keefer must have heard my request because before she could answer, he came over and inserted himself into this conversation, explaining how if people had questions about the election, he would be happy to answer them in his office. But once a FOIA was submitted, the lawyer had told him it was a legal matter and he couldn't discuss it. I explained I had not submitted a FOIA, but as an elected precinct delegate for Lee Township, I hear a lot of things, and I wanted to find out for myself about getting a CVR. All during the ballot machine test, John Keefer assured us the ballot machines were secure, but apparently he doesn't have much confidence in his voter election information security, stating, quote, if he gave the CVR as his computer printed it, then people would have the key to his information and hack it. I mentioned that other counties in this state have provided CVR and complied with the FOIAs. He said he'd called Homeland Security and was informed he was doing the right thing in withholding this information, and the complying counties would be investigated by Homeland Security for providing CVR for FOIA request. I paused to let that sink in. He called Homeland Security on persons in this county who are acting lawfully, requesting Freedom of Information Act in a lawful matter. This has echoes of the National School Board calling the federal government about parents who are showing up concerned about the curriculum at school boards. That makes this county not a very feeling of a very safe place to live. I couldn't even respond. I was so shocked. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment today? Yes, name and address, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for this privilege. I'm Margaret Gillian. I'm from Shepherd, Michigan, and I live in Greendale Township. We're just a week away from voting, and in June 2021, a mammoth poll resulted that 81 Michiganders are in favor of voter ID. But I'd like to encourage our citizens to take a closer look at this. It's funded with dark money, and it's flooding into the state, and Proposal 2 on voter ID is a lie, and it's up to us to beat this deceit. If passed, Proposal 2 will change the Michigan State Constitution to permanently stop an effort to require voter ID. It will also allow convicted felons to vote and to give billionaires access to further manipulate our elections and tie the hands of we the citizens in election oversight. Prop 2 is a fraudster's wish list for stealing our elections. We can beat the deceit and stop Proposal 2, but only if we all participate in our government like in this meeting. Everyone within the sound of our voices in Michigan don't need to change constitutional amendments like Proposition 1, 2, and 3. The liars are trying to steal our country. If you've already voted based on these, you can simply go to your clerk and ask to change your vote, and she'll spoil your first ballot and issue you a new one. The countdown to freedom is ticking. Spread the word and stop Proposal 2 and vote no on November 8th. We need more citizens engaged in our government, and we have to start in our local communities. I thank God for our freedom of speech, for this audience, for our neighbors and friends, and God bless you all, and God bless America.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there any other public comment?
Mr. Chairman, I would ask that we would withdraw this item for consideration at this time. I know that this has created a little bit of anxiety within the community, perhaps, and certainly at a time of the elections, and I certainly don't want to cause any further distraction from the debate, so I would ask that we would withdraw this.
That does not need support, and that's your that you can do that. So we will move. Is there any public comment on this item? Yes.
Can I make a public comment on number 2? You didn't
It's not on the floor.
provide an opportunity.
It's
not on-
withdrawn. So there is no-
It's.
But I would have done it in the early part if I knew it was going to get withdrawn.
I don't think it's going to hurt anything, so come on up and do it.
Joe Bonadies, Homer Township. The Midland Daily News reported yesterday about this and quoted the resolution, the previous resolution, While Midland County did not accept public funds considering election irregularities across our nation, it is appropriate to implement new county policies to eliminate future possibilities of private monies being used to skew elections in our county. Well, I would like to provide an update to that concept that maybe it's already too late. The Center for Technology and Civic Life is described on several websites. For example, it is a Chicago-based center-left election reform advocacy group formed in 2012. The organization pushes a center-right voting policy and election administration. It has a wide reach into local election offices across the nation and is funded by many several left organizations. In the months leading to the November 2020 election, Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan reportedly donated a total of $350 million to this group. This group then funneled the funds commonly called Zuck Bucks in the form of grants to thousands of county and city election officials throughout the United States to help them hire more staff, buy mail-in ballot processing machines, and other measures deemed necessary to properly handle the elections. Within the state of Michigan, there were 466 individual grants by this organization, the largest number in any state, though not the highest monetary total. And uniquely in Michigan, they were directly to the cities and townships and skipped the county levels. Lastly, this group is currently fighting multiple lawsuits regarding election interference in the 2020 election. There have been calculations that the control of this group in the 2020 elections for $16 million in grants, they purchased 962,000 more Democratic votes in the granted communities than would have occurred without these activities. That is $17 per vote. I'd be happy to share this information on the training and affiliations of the founders of this group, as well as their recent targeting of swing states. So while there may still be some chickens in the hen house, you may be closing the door a little late, and they actually came in the side door. I don't know who told you private funding did not come into the county, but it was not difficult to produce this evidence. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you very much. Yes.
Since you're allowing public comment, I have some comments about the second.
Please come forward also.
My name is Kathleen Carell, 1907 Laurel Lane. You're withdrawing it, but my hope was that you would vote against this resolution to optimize election security. As you're all aware, Midland County has never been given private donations for elections. I've spent time speaking with Ann Maneri, our county clerk, many times in the last 4 to 5 months about our election process in general. So if any of you have questions about our election security in Midland County, I suggest you make an appointment with Ann. She's the expert in this area, and I respect the work she's done. I'm really curious where this resolution originated from. If Proposal 2 passes, any future private donations will be required to be made public as part of the state constitution. As far as election irregularities, exhaustive investigations across the country have concluded that voting fraud is extremely rare. It does exist, but extremely rare. So to me, this looks like a solution in search of a problem. Due to the toxic political divide we're living through in this country, wouldn't it be more productive to, in some public fashion, show gratitude toward our election officials and volunteers who work tirelessly to ensure we have free and fair elections? I don't think as yet we have any armed citizens guarding drop boxes in Midland, but I'd just rather see the commission use their voice to move us forward, help restore confidence in our election process. And by the way, I didn't know that this forum could be used to, as the previous woman did, to push her personal opinions about proposals that are going to be on the ballot. If I did, I would have been here months ago. But Prop 2 does not take away, I
photo identification. That is a lie that's been spread around by opposition forces. We still require, that proposal will still require the same photo ID requirements that have been in existence in Michigan for probably 40 to 50 years at least. So that's a misconception, and I hope you remember that.
Thank you.
Thank you.